Hello everyone, welcome to the holidays special PIPCAST 3000 post-Christmas pre-New Year's edition. I'm Caedo Genesis, this is my co-host BADCOMPANYSARGE.
Hello there.
And this is a bi-weekly podcast every other Sunday 10 a.m. Pacific where we have a Bethesda adjacent or open worldy kind of discussion thing, often Fallout or Elder Scrolls or something kind of in that realm. And this episode, what are we gonna do, Sarge?
We're doing like an end of year wrap up review sort of thing. We're just talking. We're just talking.
We're just
It'll
talking.
be a more casual one.
Yeah.
The Steam put out like a Steam Replay 2024 and Best of Steam and stuff like that. So we're gonna look at them. We're gonna judge each other's games and playtime spent in there, like the 291 sessions I've got of a game.
Yep.
It's so many times I played that.
I have a few guesses on which one that is.
No. Yeah, we're gonna judge each other.
Yeah. Like we do all the time, but holiday style. So
Yeah.
Sarge is gonna be the Grinch, and I'm gonna be Santa Claus.
That makes sense.
Or something. I don't know.
That's a good comparison of the two, I think.
And if you're listening and you have your in-review thing, what are some things that surprised you on the games that you ended up enjoying way more in the year of 2024? I want to say consoles have something like that too, don't they?
Yeah, I did the Xbox one as well.
Yeah.
I actually have it on my phone, so I can look at it right now.
Oh my.
Do a little sneak thing, because I kept the tab up. Yeah, my Xbox year in review, where I earn, oh god, so much gamer score. Over 20,000 gamer score.
Whoa.
And played for 590 hours.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Look at this gamer.
And that does put me in the top 10% of players for playtime. Just the top 10% though. I mean, top 2% for achievements. Yeah. And that's mostly my time at Samrock, which I spent over 200 hours playing.
Yeah, makes sense.
But I put almost 100 hours into Dragon Age Inquisition, because I was determined to actually beat it this time.
Hey.
And I did, and I was like, meh. I think I talked about it on the PIPCAST.
That was it.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
It was fine.
Vaguely remember, yeah. But yeah, you haven't given Veilguard a chance yet, have you?
No, I've not played
Not
Veilguard.
yet. Yeah.
The combat looks better, which probably means I'd enjoy it more. Because a big problem with Inquisition is... Well, the big problem with Inquisition is the gameplay is bad, which is always annoying when games like that appear, and I'm like, come on, why can't this just be fun to play as well as have a cool story and characters and world and stuff?
Yeah.
Like, all of this other stuff is keeping me invested, but I wish it was just fun in the moment to moment.
I do wonder why. I do wonder if like that's the advantage that Mass Effect had, is because like it could get away with a little clunkierness because it was shooter oriented. And then by the third game, like playing certain classes was just really satisfying. So
Nice.
yeah. Anyway, we're already getting off track. That's how casual this is going to be, I suppose. Why don't we get on, or thank the supporters of the channel, both of my channels and the podcast and all that stuff, as well as the Wasteland Legends, Sven and Rose. Thank you so much for supporting me in what I do and this thing that we do every other week. It is just fun to be able to do this, and I am forever grateful. Especially this time of year. My heart has grown 15 sizes and exploded. And
so
Sarge's...
the Patreon support is even more required because Caedo now has to pay so many medical bills.
I need a replacement heart pronto.
Yeah.
Preferably a cyborg one. If I have a choice. But then also, we got some comments of the cast. And we have a double from Spotify. I'm going to allow the doubling this time because it's a continuation from last episode.
I remember.
And we got a YouTube comment as well. So I'm going to take the YouTube one because the Spotify one directly addresses you.
It does.
So Dennis McGonigal, 9691 said, also, the new Borderlands Vault Hunters are all new characters that isn't Ava. Thank Allah. And I haven't seen anything on that. I hope you're right. I want to believe you're right. I can't wait to see that it's not Ava on the roster for new characters. Also,
I mean, you do realize what that means, though. If it isn't Ava as a playable character, that means she's going to be talking and interacting with you all the time, which means there's even more dialogue and more dealing with her. Because the actual playable characters, you almost get less input from them than the ones who give you story and quests and whatnot.
Well, the odds of her dying are higher also. So if that's the case, then I will have faith in that happening, because she did age, obviously. Unless he was stuck in some sort of weird cryo thing. I don't know.
And you know what? They do kill a siren almost every Borderlands game.
Yeah, so, you're right. Actually,
I mean, 1, 2, and 3. No, 1, 2, and 3 definitely have a siren death.
Yeah.
Sirens aren't in Wonderlands. I can't remember if they're in the pre-sequel and if there's a death of them, but possibly.
I don't know.
I'll find out later.
Would it be really funny if Moxie turned into a siren? Wouldn't that be a funny twist?
No. No, it wouldn't be a funny twist. Don't say stuff like that, Caedo. Like, I'm not even that huge into Borderlands lore, but the sirens are kind of cool, and no, it wouldn't be cool if... Moxie's got so much other stuff going on.
Yeah, that's true.
Moxie's a great character, and every game she's been, like, improved upon, so...
She's great. And her kids are great. Both
she's
who
got
are
the whole
alive
family thing.
and funny and great. I made myself sad, Sarge.
Yeah. You know what? I do respect Borderlands a lot for killing characters. Especially ones that people like.
As long as their replacements are good. We got into this last time. As long as their replacements are good.
We did.
But they're not yet. And I'm mad about it.
Alright, well. Kellen Stone says, Sarge, I'm offended. Yeah! Victory! Boom!
And what was this based on? Do you remember?
I refused to thank the Spotify comments last time.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Because you were like, oh, thank you. It's nice to see someone commenting on Spotify. That's cool. And I was like, no, I'm not going to thank them.
Yeah.
I went back to Evil Sarge.
Yep. Well, you're the Grinch this episode, so...
Yeah.
It's on... Or you can be Scrooge. You can actually choose if you want to. They're both kind of...
I'll be both.
Oh, the Scrinch?
Yeah. I'm the Scrinch. Yeah. I have all of the Grinch's money and all of Scrooge's lack of generosity.
There you go.
It's a great combination.
Nice.
The worst of both worlds.
Yeah.
I'm poor and I'm not willing to give away the nothing that I have.
Correct. Yeah. Well, I'm going to say thank you again for the comment, Kellen Stone.
And I'm not.
You're 2 for 2 for the Spotify comments. So everybody else, get on that if you want to. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, but the Spotify comments are trickling in to the point to where I have to choose not to include them in order to not sound like I'm playing favorites too much. So there is that. We do have a little newsy thing related to Fallout 76. We got some details on playable ghouls. Did we didn't cover this last episode, did we?
No, we have mentioned it, but we've never had any details because we knew this was coming for a while. But the PTS is, I believe it's now live.
Yes.
Or it's about to be live for Fallout 76's next major update, which is Ghoulification.
Yeah.
Where you can become a ghoul.
Yeah.
I'm also... We've got a whole article. It will obviously be linked. Caedo's very good with putting the sources and stuff. And I'm quite surprised to find out that it comes about from a quest line.
Huh.
Yeah, the new quest line, Leap of Faith, will take you into a new section of the Savage Divide where you will meet characters who will aid in your transformation. And yeah, you transform into a ghoul. And it's a questline dependent thing. And I've already read through this, and it turns out you can go back, but then you can't do the questline again, is what it sounds like right now.
Ah.
And I wonder if they'll actually keep that. Because I know 76 is very big on kind of just letting players go back and forth. There are a few consequence things, but they're very story-based. In terms of gameplay, it's very much switch and do what you want with, like, the perk card system, the different loadouts and whatever. So, this is actually a gameplay thing where it's like, yeah, you're going to be locked in one way or the other in the end, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I wear a full-face helmet almost all the time on my character, so you won't be able to tell anyway.
Well, it is interesting you say that. We're going to be doing this in a very different order because, yeah, you get tons of benefits for being a ghoul, which we'll talk about in a second, but there are some factions who just won't want to interact with you and may become hostile and get you locked out of quest lines when you're a ghoul. Yeah, it literally says playing as a ghoul will make some factions hostile to you, which will lock you out of quest lines. And the Brotherhood of Steel is name dropped in there too. However, there's a new NPC you meet on the questline called Jay, and they make disguises that you can wear, so you're able to do the block content. But apparently there's some trade-offs. I don't know if you have all of these, or it's like different ones depending on what you're wearing. But it says, sprinting will cost 50% more action points, feral meter depletion rate is increased by 30, which is something we'll get on in a bit, movement speed is slightly slower, and super over-encumbrance, drastic AP drain, and forced slow walk. So it sounds like if you're pretending to be human, you're going to be real slow.
Okay.
But it sounds like this is just a workaround, so you can still do questlines if you want to as a ghoul, but in a sort of lore-friendly way. Like a reverse ghoul mask.
Yeah. So this J person probably had a face ripper, kind of like what you would get in Divinity Original Sin 2, where you rip the faces off of people to wear them, wear their skin, and then
perfect disguise.
Then you disguise as them.
Yeah.
And nobody asks questions.
Oh, that's horrible. But what isn't horrible are the ghoulities abilities. They just portmanteau all of them. We got Gurks coming up next.
I love it.
I hate that sounds like it's a slur. I don't like Gurks. Yeah. No.
It's like gherkins. We're like pickles.
Yeah. That's a good way to think of it, I suppose.
Pickle perks.
Yeah, pickle perks.
Yep.
But first, we've got feral. Because as a ghoul, you don't need hunger and thirst. Those meters just seem to go away. And instead you have a feral meter, which drains over time, and can be topped back up by using chems.
Bro, I love using chems.
Yeah, it's going to be great for you. Because you just use your chems, and you get better bonuses. Do you want me to just go and read out the little list of bonuses real quick?
Go for it.
So with your meter at 80% or more filled, you get +3 strength, +3 endurance, and +30 maximum hit points. Between 60 and 80%, you get +15 max hit points. Above 40%, but below 60, you actually lose a point of endurance and get -5 max HP. And when you're at the 20 to 40% range, you lose 3 endurance, -15 max HP, and -10 max action points, which is quite a debuff. At 0% is where it gets even more interesting though, because you then gain +200% melee damage, lose 5 endurance, 30 hit points, 20 AP, and get -300% gun accuracy. Which, yeah, it triples your melee damage, but also makes you a lot weaker and really bad at aiming guns. So when you go full feral, you'll be great at melee, but at a huge cost.
Yeah!
This is one which I do like, because a few people on the team have been known to call it Ghoul Zerker. Which, I like Ghoul Zerker. That's... I might have to make a Ghoul Zerker build.
Yeah.
I've not done 76 builds in so long, but the Ghoul stuff looks really cool.
Really, Ghoul?
Maybe I won't do it. Maybe I should uninstall the game, save myself from the puns. But yeah, this is pretty cool. I wish it was a bit more nuanced and balanced, because the thing is, while it seems like being at 0% is kind of good, you know, triple melee damage, amazing, you're also a lot weaker. You're a lot more of a glass cannon. Like, the loss to hit points and endurance and AP, I'm not a huge fan of that. I'd almost prefer it if you maybe lost, like, charisma, intelligence, those sorts of things instead, as you got more feral, rather than becoming weaker, which I feel doesn't fit as thematically. And if it was a case of, when you're really high up on the scale, you seem a bit more human, maybe you are still stronger and stuff, but lower down on the scale, you are feral. You should be kind of like a monster more than anything. I'd prefer it that way myself.
I don't know, I like it.
It's all about melee, Caedo. Of course you like it.
I like it a lot. I like punch.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're going to be using chems all the time, so this is basically just extra free strength and endurance non-stop for you. So, that is ideal.
Yeah. We also got the gherkins.
Oh, wait, we got the glow first.
Oh, the glow.
Which is a very simple one. Radiation gives you extra maximum health and restores HP when you're a ghoul, which, you know, makes sense. Although, you also can't be mutated, and you're immune to diseases. Which, yeah, being a ghoul seems very powerful.
Yeah. It is a pretty sizable trade-off with the lack of mutations, though.
Yeah, I am curious if that means you lose your... Yeah, do you lose your mutations, or is it just like starch genes where you can't gain new ones? Because that's really gonna, like, change it quite drastically.
Yeah, well, I feel like the reason why it looks so powerful on paper is because... That's my guess anyway, is because you can't have the serums at the same time.
Yeah, it could be. Like, neither of us have played in the PTS, so...
Yeah.
We haven't experienced it. And even in the PTS, things can change.
Yep.
That's kind of what it's there for.
And so glad they have it.
Yeah, talk about your ghoul perks.
The gherkins. 28 perks to choose from two new legendary perks for ghouls. The new perk cards can be attained through perk card packs or by selecting on level up. These cards will open up new build opportunities and enhance the way you play. Do note that perk cards that revolve around Hunger, Thirst, and Chem Resistant perk will be locked, as ghouls don't require the benefits that those cards provide. Yep, of course. So they have examples, like one of each attribute. So Strength, there's Bone Shatterer, which increases, which has your melee weapon attacks have a 45% chance to cripple a limb, which is nice. Perception, Eye of the Hunter. Your vision allows you to be more accurate in VATS over very long distance. That's pretty good. Endurance, Glowing Gut, Irradiated Food and Drink grant 300% more rads. Very helpful for the whole new rad system. Charisma, Moral Support. When on a team, you become feral 50% slower. Intelligence, Science Monster. While you have Glow, gain 15% bonus for 10 seconds upon getting hit. Or 15% bonus damage. Sorry, I didn't read the word that was important. Agility, Jaguar Speed. You now sprint 20% faster when your glow is high. And Luck, Wild West Hands. 36% chance to instantly reload your entire magazine when empty.
Those are some neat looking perks.
Yeah.
They are all of them at the maximum level, and we don't get like cost and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's hard to tell how good they'll actually be. The one that has my interest the most is Eye of the Hunter, the bats at long range, because this is a problem I've always had with bats, is it's not good at long range. And like I've been playing a sniper character on my challenge run channel. There's been multiple people who have been like, wait a second, your perception's low. Why is it low? Why is it not high? And it's like, because there's no point in having a high perception, because at long range it's still going to be like 2% to hit or something in bats. It's always been a problem with the VAT system, where if a target's very far away, you're not gonna hit them. You have to manually aim as a sniper. Like, that sniper only works at mid-range at most. So, depending on how well this perk works, this could be a good thing for future Fallout, if they can actually make it so a VAT sniper is a proper viable thing to go for. Then I will be a very happy Sarge.
Yeah.
What's your favourite of these perks?
My favorite? Bone Shatterer is pretty cool. I mean, you know, I'm a strength boy, but like, there's not many, because you can't aim with melee. You never could, Fallout 3 onwards. So having that ability to like cripple stuff more when you're just wildly smashing or punching is good.
Yeah, very useful for some enemies as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like any of the melee-focused beasts, if you're able to run in, hit with a few attacks quickly, and then run back out in the hope that you've like crippled their legs or something, that could be quite powerful.
Like if I can snap a Deathclaw's shin with a punch, suddenly they're even easier to deal with. I don't know what crippling a Yaogwai does, to be honest. Like, they're always stagger-tastic. I don't know. I still don't like them. So
yeah, you can at least stop them chasing you down so easily.
I wanted to say, like, I think there's something stagger-resistant related in Ghoul, being a Ghoul as well, or at least being feral. I don't remember which.
Okay, I don't see anything about it here.
I remember seeing it somewhere.
We also have a whole bunch of perks that we haven't seen.
Yes.
And legendary perks, so I wouldn't be too surprised.
Yeah. Man, there is a lot though. This update is not just Ghoul stuff too, because it's like perk reworks, weapon balances. Like,
yes, so many weapon balances.
I'm gonna suggest like we don't take the time to read through the whole thing because it is a big page.
I will say it seems like pistols are being like significantly improved.
Mm-hmm.
They seem to be getting a big boost.
Yeah,
that's the main thing. Power armor, it says, now grants plus 10 strength regardless of your current strength, which sounds very good. Because previously it was just like, oh yeah, your strength is maxed out now when you're in power armor.
Yeah.
But if you were a high strength build in power armor, it was exactly the same as being a low strength build in power armor.
Yeah.
So hopefully this being a flat buff is now pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm stoked to play as a Ghoul, man. I have been hoping for some sort of different race or different type of character to play as since, I don't know, Tactics or Brotherhood of Steel.
Yeah,
because like that's the only ones we had up until this point.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm stoked. Mutants next, maybe.
I mean, possibly. Both Ghoul and Super Mutant seem like viable potential choices, even in like future single player games. I could see this being possible. I actually think for single player games it'd be even better it being tied to like a quest line and stuff.
Yeah.
Because maybe one of them is like this quest line where people teach you how to become a Ghoul and you can go down that route. And in another quest line, someone just stabs you with some FEV. Make it a random encounter. Encounter right at the start of the game. Like 1% chance of it happening. So many players online like, why am I suddenly a super mutant? I don't understand. I'm scared. I'm confused. Nobody talks to me. They're all shooting me. Why is this getting so hard? And the perfect Fallout 5 is conceived.
It just turns into the Fallout vampirism.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, I'm turning into something over, and then you have to do a quest line if you want to get rid of it, or just deal with it.
Nope. Impossible to get rid of it. Impossible to get rid of.
Impossible?
No cure. We've definitely never seen a cure or heard about a cure for either of these things. Definitely not there.
Are you
Everyone
sure?
just has to deal with it.
Are you sure about that?
I just want people to suffer.
Okay, Mr. Scrinch.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's move on to the end of best of end of Steam.
Yeah,
not the end of Steam.
Steam's best of 2020, 2020, 2024. Boy, it's so far in the future. So what do you think of Path of Exile 52, Caedo? Are you happy to see it on the list?
I sure am. We wouldn't have that many, to be real. Because
in 2020, 2024.
Yeah.
Caedo, but so far in the future.
I don't think we would have that many Path of Exile, Sarge.
It's only 50 more of them in, 2 million years?
They take a long time to develop that game actively. I don't know, man.
Yeah. I guess 500,000 years per Path of Exile will make more sense.
Yeah. And we've already hit the peak of. I feel like we've hit the peak of graphical fidelity where we're just operating at a loss now. So.
That can be a whole other discussion.
Oh, for sure.
At some point.
Yeah.
There's a lot to talk about in terms of that. But yeah, this is actually the best of 2024.
Yes.
As in the year we're in and is ending right now.
Not 200 million, whatever.
Yeah. The grim dark future of 2024. I can't believe Warhammer didn't go with that instead. Stupid 40k. Why not Warhammer 40? That'd be so much better.
Yeah. It's so much catchier. Rolls off the tongue.
Yep. Very easy to remember.
Yeah.
Alright, so in this list we have top sellers, new releases, most played, Steam Deck controller VR. These are the categories, personally, I'm most interested in most played.
Okay, so I'm going to select that one too then.
Yeah, because top sellers, like, fair enough, well done companies, you've made a lot of money. Good on you.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm more interested in what people were actually playing.
Yes. Same.
And this is the year's most played games measured by peak concurrent players. So this is where most people were playing at a point, essentially.
Yes.
Ta-da!
This year, sometime.
Me do explaining good.
The big player count number. Big.
Yeah.
Yeah. Over 450,000 peak players for all these games. So...
Yeah, it's the top section here. Although, right off I'm going to say, I'm a bit annoyed it's not over 500,000 peak players. I'm sure that it's a sensible reason. Like, maybe only one of these games had, like, over 500,000. And there were so many at, like, 478 and 490 or whatever.
Yeah.
But it just... It annoys me a little bit. But it's not, like, over 500,000.
What surprises
It'd be so
me,
much nicer.
What surprises me is quite a few of these games did come out this year.
Yeah, like... Three of them? 4 of them.
Five of them.
Five of them?
So let's go to the list.
Yes.
PUBG Battlegrounds, Power World, and Elden Ring are the top 3.
Oh, you've got a different order to me.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
I think it's the same games.
In most played?
If you just keep reading through. Yeah, in the over 450,000 on most played. I think they are just in a different order, so you might not actually know which of these is the most played.
Oh, fun. Okay. Great. Good job, Steam. Counter-Strike 2, Marvel Rivals, Path of Exile 2, Helldivers 2, Dota 2, Apex Legends, and Black Myth Wukong. Those are
the exact same games I've got here. So yeah, it's just a different order. Oh, I was going to say the lesson to take away is just get your first game done quickly and then make a sequel with the number 2.
Yeah, easy. Yeah. It's Elden Ring 2 is going to be on this list next year.
Yep.
Obviously.
It's going to get somebody. Yeah. You were saying Marvel Rivals.
Yeah, that seemed to be like a sleeper hit for this year.
Yeah.
It was just the right thing to release when everybody wanted the original Overwatch back, it seemed like.
Yeah, like I don't think I saw any marketing or promo or stuff for this, but then just all of a sudden several people on like TikTok were playing it, and not playing it in a way but it's like, oh, I've been paid to play this and this is a supported stream or whatever. It was like just people's random, like, oh, we're putting this on TikTok because there was some jokes we made, and they happened to be playing Marvel Rivals at the time. Like, there was a lot of that sort of stuff going on.
Yeah.
Where it does seem that a lot of people just picked this up. It is free to play, which I'm sure helps a lot.
That's huge, yeah.
And it seems to be a good game, and like you say, people were wanting Overwatch to actually be more like Overwatch was. And then this showed up, and just things seem to align nicely.
Yeah. And it might be a combination of things, too. It might be the people wanting a good Marvel game, because... initially we had a handful from the last, well, maybe decade of good Marvel games, and then this one comes along for Marvel fans to dig into as well. So or comic book fans.
I'd say we're at a slower point in the like MCU and stuff. Not only is it seen as kind of on the downhill trend, but we had like 1 or 2 MCU movies this year, and maybe a series. Like, the only one I know of is Deadpool and Wolverine.
Which was amazing, by the way.
I've seen it.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was fairly good.
It was fun.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
It was not bad.
Wow.
I said not bad, Caedo, not bad.
Are we going to fight Mr. Scrinch?
Yes. And it's going to be pointless.
I put it on
two
S
people
tier.
with a generation. Yeah, it was fun. Like, I did enjoy it. I just wasn't like, wow, this is amazing. I wasn't as excited as you, obviously.
It's probably because it didn't tickle your nostalgia as much as probably me and Kite as well. Because it was built for millennials. For sure.
I'm almost a millennial.
You're almost.
I mean, depending on when you decide to draw the line, I am a millennial. You know, those arbitrary lines which I'm always on, like, just one side or the other of.
Okay, how about... are you still considered a 90s kid? Is that...
Yeah?
Yeah?
Man, it's...
Or were you a 90s baby?
Mid-90s... Yes, I was born in the mid-90s.
Okay.
So
you were like...
It's always a weird one.
So you were like 5 when NSYNC was big.
I'm familiar with NSYNC.
Okay.
N''SYNC.
Yes.
You know, I know them. Yeah. I'm familiar with lots of stuff.
Anyway.
I'm well aware of the song. And I have nostalgia for both Deadpool and Wolverine. I've read comics. I grew up with, like, the X-Men movies. I saw what they did in X-Men Origins to Ryan Reynolds' first Deadpool. And I enjoyed, like, all the stuff with Blade. I'm a big Blade fan. I've watched Elektra. I've seen that movie, how terrible it was. Like, I'm aware of all of this stuff. I even knew about Channing Tatum wanting to be Gambit for years. I listened to him talk about it. I'm a nerd, all right. I want to... No, I'm not taking this. You're not nostalgic.
I didn't mean to check your gamer cred that hard, Sarge.
No.
So it was an S tier movie, is what you're saying?
It was a movie with several good scenes, but also several scenes where I just didn't really care. Like, I think there was too much disparity from scene to scene in terms of overall quality and enjoyment and fun factor. Like, the fights in general were pretty good. There's some interesting plot stuff. Also having... Oh, I always forget her name. The main villain, like, Cassandra. Yeah, I'm familiar with Cassandra from the comics, which I have read. I've read a lot of X-Men comics. She's a really interesting villain. I wish they'd done a bit more with her. But it was cool how she was implemented. I did kind of like that. There was stuff I enjoyed. There's just plenty of other stuff where I was like, meh.
Wow.
So, you know, it was very moment-to-moment dependent.
So what you're saying is, you're a fan, but not a real fan.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Thank you, Caedo.
Just kidding. Anyway. Yeah,
Caedo, out of the games in the top players, which is the thing we were actually talking about, which of them have you played?
Good question. I've played one of them.
That'll be Helldivers 2.
Yes, it would.
Wow.
Yep.
I was expecting slightly more. I mean, is that just this year, or in all time have you only played Helldivers 2 out of all of these?
Out of all these, yeah, in all time.
Oh man.
Just Helldivers 2.
Okay, I've played a lot of these. Like, the ones I played this year were Helldivers 2, Power World, and Elden Ring, which we'll get onto later. But I've played Apex, Dota 2, and Counter-Strike 2 in the past, just not this year. So I definitely understand the appeal for some of these, especially the multiplayer ones. A lot of them have, like, strong communities. They keep updating and changing things, or just sticking with what is solid. I'm actually a bit annoyed with the Apex Legends updates. I feel like the game's getting not necessarily worse, but a lot more complicated, when it was quite a nice streamlined experience before, which had a bit of complexity, but not crazy stuff. And they just keep trying to add stuff to it. I think they're kind of chasing Fortnite a bit, when that's not really their best strength.
Yeah.
So...
Also, Fortnite makes it a habit to, like, remove things, so it doesn't get overwhelming if you jump back in.
Yeah. Apex Legends is working more on... They're not making as big a sweeping changes, but it's like, every time we're just like, we'll just tweak this thing, and the next season we'll tweak this thing, and then next season we'll add this thing, and the season after, and it is just getting bloated.
It's like free-to-play-itis, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But so like
Warframe, there's a lot of
Warframe,
changes where
like how Warframe is for me, and many others, I'm
like,
sure.
Yeah, it's starting to hit that point. But yeah, this all kind of makes sense for lots of people playing. There's nothing on the top part of this which I'm confused by.
Yeah.
Although it is funny to see games like Counter-Strike 2 from so many years ago in here, along with new releases.
When did Counter-Strike 2 come out? That was pretty recent, right? Am I too old for this?
No. God, Caedo, you're really old. Let
me look.
My brain's saying, like, was it even in the 2010s?
No.
Let's Google this.
No, the original Counter-Strike.
What?
Wait, what?
Wait, was released on 2023?
Yeah, Counter-Strike 2.
Wait, what?
Because it was CSGO up until they made it Counter-Strike 2.
Man, yeah, I'm thinking of the second Counter-Strike.
Oh.
What an idiot I am thinking that Counter-Strike 2 would be the second Counter-Strike. Yeah, okay, that's very different then.
Yeah.
Yeah. CSGO was 2012, you know, the second Counter-Strike. The Counter-Strike 2, the third Counter-Strike, was just the last one. Although when I hover over it, it says August 21st, 2012 on this one.
That makes it more confusing.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, but that says... Oh, that is weird. What? Okay, I don't understand Counter-Strike enough.
Can I mention most even more surprising than Marvel Rivals, because it's a, you know, that's a multiplayer thing. Path of Exile 2. That was very recent that it became publicly available.
Oh yeah.
And it's crushing numbers.
I remember hearing about how it did just kind of like shoot up in terms of player count, like way faster than expected.
And
yeah, it seems
I'm
pretty good. Yeah. I think for all of the people who wanted like a Diablo sort of, what do you call them? Those sorts of games? I forgot the name.
Action RPG.
ARPGs. See,
ARPG,
whenever people say action RPG, I think Devil May Cry. I don't know why, but that's the thing that jumps into my brain.
Devil May Cry is like a hack and slash or a beat 'em up.
Yeah, but in my brain it's like, oh, that's an RPG with lots of action. Devil May Cry, obviously.
Yeah.
I've been considering making a whole video talking about the term RPG. And
good luck with
that.
that.
I'm real tempted by it right now because I hate it. I'm going to tell everyone Red Dead Redemption's not an RPG, and they're going to be so angry with me. But anyway, those were the top played games. Let's now move down to the over 200,000 peak players.
Oh my.
Which has a bunch of RPGs.
It does.
Like, quite a lot of RPGs, to be fair. As I'll read out these ones. We have Path of Exile, the first one, which is funny to see it here. Rainbow Six Siege, GTA 5, Baldur's Gate 3, Lethal Company, Dragon's Dogma 2, Throne and Liberty, Stardew Valley, The First Descendant, which is a word I can say, Naraka Blade Point, Content Warning, COD Black Ops 6, Last Epoch, Destiny 2, Once Human, and Space Marine 2? Yeah, it is Space Marine 2. There's 6 Black Ops, and it was last week I found this out. Like, to be fair, I thought we were on Black Ops 4. I knew Black Ops 3 had existed, and then there was a new Black Ops, so I was like, must be number 4. But at some point, 4 and 5 came out, and I was not paying attention.
Maybe during your spiral into Skyrim content.
I mean,
and Fallout.
Possibly, yeah. It just kind of released, and I'm guessing I was just like, oh, there's a new Black Ops, but I saw nothing about it and it's also a case of we had Black Ops 1, 2, and 3, and they were somewhat spaced out, I feel like, and now they've just been like, oh, we need to keep making Black Ops. So I think that's happened too. Grand Theft Auto 5. I had someone tell me that GTA is not an RPG, which is another fun thing. It's like, nah, that's not an RPG. Which is... Feel free to fight about that in the comments. If anyone wants to say it is or it isn't, tell me why.
Sure it is.
Why?
Oh, I can't say.
Oh, you're one of those commenters. Just state the opinion,
I signed an agreement.
Backing up, nothing else. Yeah.
No, I don't even play
I will
GTA
say-
5, so
That's fair. Yeah, there's a couple of games on here I'm not surprised by, but which I've not heard of, like Last Epoch and First Descendant.
and
I'm
Throne
just
and Liberty.
not familiar with these. Throne and Liberty, I feel like I've heard of that. Yeah, it's like an MMO, but I know I've heard of it, but I can't remember anything about it. It is like a fairly new one, I'm pretty sure. So that's just a bunch of people jumping on to play that. Lethal Company and Content Warning, those games have been very big with like groups of people playing. Like you see a lot of clips of them on TikTok.
Oh yeah, I've been watching Maximilian Dude's Lethal Company videos, and they're hilarious.
Yeah, a lot of people just having fun and messing around
Very
with
good
them.
content game.
I have no idea what, like, if the games have any like purpose behind them, because all I ever see is people messing around.
Yes, there is purpose, but the highlights are great.
That's fair. I will say I'm quite happy to see both Space Marine 2 and Baldur's Gate 3. I mean, isn't too surprising to see on here, but it's nice to see those two on here. I quite enjoy that. And Dragon Dogma 2.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that game got talked about tons for like a week or so after it was out, and then I just haven't heard much about it since.
Yeah.
Which is a shame.
But yeah, like out of this list, I think I've only played Baldur's Gate 3 recently. I have played Path of Exile, the original, as well, but it was years ago at this point.
I don't think I've played any of these games this year. And out of all of them, I played like GTA. Have I played Stardew Valley? I might have played Stardew Valley. I played lots of games like it. And technically, I've played Rainbow Six Siege. I've definitely played Destiny 2. Like, yeah, I've not really played many of these games. But I think that's because at this point we're into a lot of like more like recent releases. I feel like half of these were released this year. I was gonna say
like we don't, both of us don't really aren't very early adopters much anymore. Which sucks for analyzing this kind of list. So
yeah.
If I may suggest, we go into our own.
Oh, I was going to say, let's not do like a full, complete departure just yet. I will say let's not talk about all of the rest of them, but I do think there's a couple of games in the over 100,000 and over 50,000 we'd like to talk about. Because in the over 100,000 peak players, we have Fallout 4.
Oh.
Yeah. Fallout 4 got a big spike in players
towards the bottom for me,
this
that's
year.
why I didn't see it.
Yeah. Yeah, Fallout 4 got a big spike in players, which is likely down to the little update they did, the next-gen update, as they called it. Which just added in some Creation Club stuff.
And the Fallout show.
Yes, I keep forgetting that was this year.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, those two coinciding obviously bumped up the player thing and got it into the silver category for most played, which is impressive. Like, that's a lot of people playing it. Like, it's up here with Hades 2, Stalker 2, Monster Hunter World, Factorio and Fallout 4. Like, I know people play Factorio.
Yes.
Like, I know that's hugely popular in Germany as well. Like, there's some kind of thing where they did some analytics and they counted up, like, how much of the German population plays Factorio, and it's, like, a ridiculous percentage. To the point of, if everyone in Germany was let off for a day just to play Factorio, the country would, like, have so much stuff break down, apparently. Because there's just so many people from there who play Factorio.
That's great.
Yeah. But yeah, it's impressive to see it there. And also, in the over 50,000 peak players, is Fallout 76.
Oh.
Which, yeah, for a game that often gets dunked on, it's in the same category as Red Dead Redemption 2 and Deep Rock Galactic and, best of all games, Governor of Poker 3. Okay, there's some games in here which maybe aren't as good.
Let's go to our list, Sarge.
Warhammer 3's in here as well.
Okay.
And Valheim, so we each get one.
Yes.
But yeah, now we can go on to our lists.
So...
and I'll let you start, because I've been talking lots.
Okay. Sounds good to me. This is going to expose Caedo. Caedo exposed. Can't wait for Sarge's video on me just being a fake YouTuber.
Yep, you make one about me being a fake movie or nerd or whatever. And I'll make one about you being a fake gaming YouTuber. Yep. That's great. Yep.
Not a real gamer. Okay. So my Steam Replay 2024, according to just Steam, I've played 35 games this year. 6 games fewer than last year.
Oh, man.
But the other games I've played have been, WoW private server and stuff like that. So Steam doesn't track that.
You got 15 new games on here, which, considering you were just saying about how we don't really play new games that much, that feels like quite a decent chunk.
It says 15 new games, but new to the account is what it sounds like.
Oh. That is interesting.
I'm wondering...
I wasn't interpreting it that way, but yeah, it could be.
New game... Yeah, new games to me. Maybe not necessarily... Because I don't think I got that many new games.
Played for the first time, possibly?
That
could well be it.
But anyway, I unlocked 277 achievements. For anybody who cares about achievements.
It's 238 fewer than last year. Caedo, you unlocked over 500 achievements last year.
I play a lot of games.
What were you doing?
I play a lot of games, man.
Yeah, that's so many achievements.
And I will say too, like a lot of these are just story completion stuff. Like I don't hunt for achievements in games.
You say you don't hunt for achievements. I'm going to tell you that last year I had about 30 achievements on Steam that I made.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let me just...
you have so many.
Let me just give you an example, because like I feel like I need an example here. Okay, so I have 35 out of 41 achievements on Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. I've just been playing the game. I have not been trying to get specific achievements, but there are unlocks tied to some of those achievements that in game it shows you like a progress bar of like, have you done this thing in a deep dive, and then you unlock a like power up for supply drops later. Those things obviously I go for because it has an in-game reward to it. But when it comes to like general achievements that you just get from like completing stories, for the amount of games that I played, I'm not very surprised that I have that many achievements.
I mean, when we scroll down a bit, it's actually going to tell you the median, like the average of achievements unlocked in a year. And oh boy, you're going to be real far.
Judging me so hard right now. Anyway.
I am.
Highest playtime on my profile is Valheim. 18% of my playtime, 111 sessions played. Makes sense. Hey, if you didn't know, I have a Valheim server. You can access it if you join my Discord. I try to make sure that it's up still. But once the Deep North releases, I have a feeling I'm going to just reboot or start a new world. So, because not many people are jumping into the Valheim server anymore. So, but I have it for me. I like having a Valheim server. So, second most played was Baldur's Gate 3. Makes sense. It's a long freaking game. And Kite and I played through the whole campaign together this year. So,
nice.
Makes sense. 73 sessions played. And then third is Fallout 4. 9% of my playtime, 169 nice sessions played.
Yeah, that's so many more sessions. This is obviously so much of you being like, oh, I need this bit of footage, or I need to check this thing. Or so many just short moments where you play for like 10, 15 minutes, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Did you actually play much Fallout 4 this year?
Yeah, I think I did.
Okay.
I think I had to for some... Yeah, I had to, because I had to get... you can't just spawn... quote uniques on your character.
Yeah,
you have to go get them.
It's very annoying.
Yeah. Like even in the dev room, they're not properly spawned in. Yeah. It's awful.
It's very irritating when you're trying to make a build or a guide and like, well, I just need the deliverer. Oh wait, I have to go through the entire mission and meet the railroad and do all of this and blah 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 blah. It changes what would be like 20 seconds into 20 minutes at least.
Yeah, because in Fallout 3, it'd just be like, oh, I have this weapon now.
Yep.
Or even New Vegas. Oh my goodness. But nope, Legendary System broke everything. It's fine.
Yeah. How Caedo Genesis compares is the next section. And the first thing is, Caedo Genesis unlocked 277 achievements. And the median is 13.
Yep.
13 is like the average. Not the... That's the average, Caedo. The average number of achievements people unlock on Steam is 13. You're over 20 times that much.
In all of Steam, though. And also, I'm a career gamer. Not trying to justify my ridiculous amount of achievements, but...
Yeah, because the other thing is, I know you're not into achievements, which is why this stands out so much.
Yeah.
Like, this would make perfect sense if you were someone who enjoyed getting achievements. But I know that you don't really care for them, and yet you have so many.
I've also been playing the hell out of games where, like, I just don't... They're early access and don't have any. Which is silly, too.
So you're saying it would be higher. Next year, double it.
if those games came out, yeah. Yeah, because Tricky Madness doesn't have them. Baldur's Gate 3 does. Kenshi doesn't have them. Hades 2 doesn't have them. Valheim doesn't have them. Where was I getting achievements from? Now I'm confused.
200 of them. They're somewhere. Okay, you had... Okay, 16% of your playtime was in games released in 2024, which is almost the same as, like, the average person.
Okay.
And then, although it's 26% for games released 8 or more years ago, and then 58% from the past 7 or 1 to 7 years. Which I feel like seems like a reasonable split.
Yeah.
You're mostly playing games that are not new, but somewhat recent. That makes sense to me.
I like the spider graph.
Yeah. Space.
So there's a spider graph that says what you are what you play. The spider graph shows the kinds of games Caedo Genesis spent the most time in 2024. The categories are action roguelike, roguelite, CRPG, space, open world survival craft, and dwarf.
Yeah. I mean, you're not that high in dwarf. It's equal to action roguelike.
Yeah, my dwarf stat is low,
actually. You're really big into your open world survival craft and space.
Yep. And that's Starfield's fault.
Oh, yeah. No dwarves in Starfield. Terrible.
Nope.
Your dwarf thing surely is... I suppose Baldur's Gate 3 and Deep Rock Galactic.
That one's weird. I don't know if it included Baldur's Gate 3 because I didn't play a dwarf at all.
But is it just the game has dwarves in, so it's like, there we go.
Maybe.
Yeah, you should get in touch with the people who make this little graphic and ask them.
I don't know. Okay. Well, yeah, and then it gets into the minutia of the graphs that are there.
Played a lot of Valheim at the start of the year.
Just below Fallout 4 is Starfield for playtime.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we had a thing to talk about this.
Yeah. So there was a big old dead zone of interest for me between May and September.
Yeah. You did technically play in June, August, and September, but, like, so little.
Like,
clearly this was like, I need to get this one bit of footage, or I need to double check something.
Or I'm like, man, maybe I can force my interest, and then I just didn't want to play. But
in October, you loved the game. That's your highest spike of playtime.
Did I love it, Sarge?
October. Yeah, you had an amazing time. That's almost a third of your total playtime in Starfield was in October. You must have had a brilliant time. Done a full playthrough. I'm waiting on your video telling us why Starfield is actually brilliant and we're all wrong. Stop dying, Caedo, and answer.
So, Shattered Space happened, and most of us probably forgot about it already.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna guess, like, the average Bethesda enjoyer feelings on it is you probably forgot about it, because it was not is not really anything special.
No.
And I was bummed out, like, a lot, and then angry.
Yeah. I'm still annoyed we never got the angry Caedo video.
Yeah, I mean, it's still like half of it's already written, like it's still there, or half it's voiced already. But I think about the stuff I can put energy towards that's actually helpful. and then I get stuck and I'm like, oh man, I could make a guide on this instead, or like a highlights where I had fun. You remember fun, guys? Fun's fun.
No. Fun is dead. Anger rules now.
Yeah. So I worked on something else.
Yeah.
Trying to get myself out of my creative funk, because that's what Starfield did. It's like I suffered some real serious burnout from Shattered Space, because it was like, man, I hope it's good, and then it was just meh.
Yeah.
But yeah,
there's underneath like each of these games there's a little tagline as well, and this one is, how much time did Caedo Genesis spend scanning Moloch 2?
Oh yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah, because you informed me that this isn't just some fun little thing. Like, Fallout 4 has, we raise a Nuka-Cola in your honor. That's their tagline, and it's like, oh, that's nice. It's just like a little bit of extra flavor.
Yep.
But apparently this one is something fundamentally broken with the game.
Yeah, that, if anything sums up Starfield better, I don't know what. Because how much time did I spend scanning Moloch 2 is like the perfect encapsulation. Because Moloch 2, I don't know if they patched it or not, but it was something you couldn't complete with scans.
Something like
surveys. That? Yeah, you get surveys of planets and then sell them. But Moloch 2, you couldn't complete the survey. Like, you just couldn't, because it was asking for a biome situation that just wouldn't work with for whatever reason. Like, it was asking for swamps that had specific fish in them, but the swamps weren't deep enough for those fish to spawn, so you'd just be driving around trying to scan something that didn't exist. And there's many Reddit posts about it, people just getting pissed off and spending hours on this world trying to scan a thing that's not there. And man, if that doesn't describe what my hopes were for Shattered Space, I don't know what else does. Trying to find something worth making a video on, scanning with my eyeballs, trying to find something of worth to show to others, and I just didn't. So I've been checking back at the creations just to be like, I wonder what kind of devious things are gonna do next. I was right about the vehicles thing. Like, shortly after, they added a variant of the Varun style vehicle to the game. And over time, of course, they're adding more and more. The reason, hey, everybody, capitalism exists. The reason why they were incentivized to put vehicles in the game is not just because we wanted a faster way to get around. It's because money.
Yeah. And
I hate it. I hate that was clearly the main motivation. You I don't know, you'd be like, Caedo, prove it. I mean, I can't prove it, but they're owned by Microsoft. And if they don't make Microsoft the big bucks, I don't know, maybe Microsoft will start closing down other studios that were Bethesda owned.
Yeah, I mean, I know 76 is doing well on money because of the Steam thing, where on the revenue it's high up there.
That's good.
It's one of their best earners.
Yeah.
But yeah, Starfield wasn't there, so I am curious.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm guessing that's just lower player count overall. Or it might be a thing where the Atom Shop, that's something they have Dace Rover and Creation Clubs they don't. Who knows?
Maybe.
But there is one thing that actually surprised me quite a bit from this, because I've scrolled to the bottom now, and below Starfield there's Project Zomboid, which you played a little bit of, in June mostly, you were playing that.
Yep.
But there's a couple of games missing from the most played. Like, fair enough, Valheim, Baldur's Gate 3, Fallout, even Starfield, I understand why that's here. But Deep Rock Galactic and Kenshi, Caedo, these aren't some of your most played games.
I know.
But my entire perception of you is you non-stop playing those two.
I know, Sarge. I've been failing in other aspects because I got hooked on Warmane. Yeah, Kenshi has been taking a bit of a backseat because I'm also getting excited for Kenshi 2.
Fair enough.
I mean, they've teased it every so often, and I'm just excited. And in Project Zomboid's case, I got the Union and I killed in our game, and then we stopped playing. For a while.
Okay.
And then I was just waiting for build 42, which just hit unstable like a week or two ago, which is the big like whole bunch of rework stuff that happened in Project Zomboid just happened. So I've been jumping at that again just recently, but that's mainly what I was waiting for, which is why Zomboid didn't get as much time. But yeah. Also, I was reminded that I beat Secret of Mana, the 3 remake.
Well done.
Which was, maybe that's where a lot of my achievements came from. 29.
I mean, you had 41 Starfield achievements, which is quite a few.
Oh, I guess that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all those just kind of happen as you play, especially if you're just pouring hours into it, trying to find something worthwhile. Gunfire Reborn 3 this year. That's not a big deal. Hades 2 doesn't have achievements. DRG Survivor has 33. Yeah, but all those are unlockables, like every single one of them.
Yeah. There's clearly just like a handful of games where you just got tons of achievements.
32 on Helldivers 2.
Yep.
Yeah, they just kind of rack up. That's just what happens.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you from. Have you got anything else for your Steam replay you want to go over? Or...
Pillars of Eternity. I am glad I played through that before before Avowed.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna manage that.
Didn't really get through 2. I got a little ways through the first act and then kind of just fell off. Wanted to play something else. Like I think that's around the time I was like, I want to play Project Zomboid. Or something. I don't know. But yeah, go ahead with your list. Let's get into your. Let me judge you now.
Yeah. I've got much smaller numbers at the start because I played 26 games, which is 9 less than you, but 9 more than I did play last year. So I played some games. 3 of them were new games.
Whoa.
And I got almost a third of your achievements, 103. But whereas yours was like half of the previous year, mine was 74 more than last year. I had 29 achievements last year, Caedo. See what I mean about normal people achievements? Wow. Like breaking 100, that's impressive.
I think Caedo just plays too many different games. I think that's what happened.
Yeah. I mean, mine is over like 9 different games. So it's like 12 achievements per game sort of deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 60 days was my longest streak of playing games, which I think yours was 155.
Makes sense.
So, take a break sometimes, Caedo.
Why? If I take a break, I die. I'm like a shark, Sarge.
Just keep playing, just keep playing. Yep, got it. My top 3 games, here's where the numbers get a bit worse looking for me. Because my top one is Total War Warhammer 3, with 26% of the playtime and 291 sessions played.
I have a feeling you have a favorite game, Sarge.
I play a lot of it. It's very good. It's a good game. A good game, Caedo. A good game.
I believe you.
Yeah, I've done a lot of campaigns. This is also like the only game I bought DLC for in the past. I suppose Starfield was the last game before that
Yeah.
that I bought DLC for when I like pre-ordered and got the extra thing with it. But yeah, it's just really, really good. That's why I've talked about it in several Pipcasts. It's a good game. My second most played at 19% and 174 sessions is Dark Souls Remastered.
Look at this guy.
Yeah, that's because I not only did my Dark Souls in 2024 and then the I Beat Dark Souls series, but I also have already recorded Dark Souls Randomized, which is a challenge run series coming in like a week or two to Bad Company Gaming. And I recorded the entire playthrough of that, so yeah, when we get onto the graphs later on, there's probably going to be like a couple of really big spikes. And then my third game, much like Caedo, is Fallout 4, where it's 14% of my playtime but 89 sessions. That's because I've got like half as many sessions but more playtime than you. And I think that's largely because I also did Sniper Survival this year. So I did like an actual playthrough where each session was like an hour.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think what I was doing mainly was capturing for lists, like potential lists. And only managed one of them.
Whereas I did an entire playthrough, which has been going quite well. People have enjoyed that.
What is this? 103 achievements with the median being 13?
Yeah.
What?
See how much... See, here's the thing. I'm already way above the medium on all of these graphs. But Caedo was like double me on this stuff. It's like... Yeah, I actually get a lot of achievements compared to a normal person, but compared to a Caedo, nothing. And on my new, recent, and classic thing, I have 2% new releases, is what I played. Like, almost nothing. And then recent is 57, so a little over half. Classic is 41, so a little under half. Like, that makes sense. I'm playing old games. That's mostly what I'm doing. I earned one badge this year.
What is this by the numbers? Hold on, what did mine even say?
Yours had tons of stuff. So Caedo's by the numbers had screenshots, games gifted, workshop item subscriptions, badges earned, new friends, community awards, reviews written. Just, you had a whole bunch of stuff.
Oh. Makes it look like I actually do things. I don't.
Yeah, you interact with Steam in some way as a platform. I'm like, oh, this is my games launcher. I launch games from it.
No, that makes sense.
That's what it is to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not a part of the Steam community. And my spider graph, a bit more normal than Caedo. Like, I will say open world is as, like, filled in as possible.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it covers the actual point at the very end.
That one's full.
It understands that I'm open world-like. Souls-like is also pretty filled up, as is online co-op, which I think is being filled up because Total War Warhammer 3 and Dark Souls are both technically online co-op games. I just don't play them like that. Then JRPGs filled in a bit, which I'm curious if... I'm guessing Dark Souls falls under that as well.
It might, actually, yeah.
But, yeah, I also played some Final Fantasy games, so that'll help fill that in. And then both Looter Shooter and Loot are covered. Yeah, this one feels very right for me. Like, open world, Looter Shooter, Souls-like as well, I guess, JRPG. Just, yeah, I like shooting, I like open worlds. I'm surprised just RPG as its own category wasn't in here, but yeah, that makes sense.
The categories are very weird.
Yes.
Or like it stays normal for a couple, and then it gets kind of wacky. Yeah.
And on to my top games. Total War Warhammer 3, Blood for the Blood God. And if you look at the chart, there's just a lot. Like, May through to September, I was just playing this game a lot.
Your chart is way more consistent in play than mine, for sure.
Like, I didn't play in January and February, but since then I've been playing all the time. Like, October and April I didn't play much, but it's being picked back up again in December. Like, yeah, this is a game I just play when I want to just chill out and play something.
Yeah.
And I earned one achievement this year.
Yeah.
I believe it was completing an Empire campaign.
Yep.
And then Dark Souls Remastered, where I played it a bit in January, I played it a tiny amount in February, and then I didn't play for a few months.
You rage quit until May.
And then in June, I played tons. So clearly what happened is, in January I did like my Dark Souls in 2024 video, and I'm guessing I picked it up a little bit after that, but didn't really play. And then I think Luke Westerway, of Normal Adult Luke, started his Dark Souls randomizer, and I was like, I want to play Dark Souls again. And then I played Dark Souls.
And you played it real hard.
Yeah, June and July has like over half of my playtime, and that was just me beating the game. And that was a lot of time. And then for the next few months, like, I obviously dabbled a bit here and there, but then in November, I did the challenge run, and that's like a quarter of my playtime. Which I will say, I'm quite impressed that doing the challenge run was way quicker for me than my first playthrough. Like, I sped up a lot, even with everything being randomised.
That's great.
Which is, yeah, pretty good of me. And I earned a bunch of achievements in that game. Like, 26 of them. I'm happy with that. Especially because I got both ending achievements. I beat the game in both ways, so
nice.
Yeah. Fallout 4, yeah, I'm also quite high up in April, although I played a decent bit in September too.
Fallout 4 is video game.
Yes, I was really hoping you were going to fill in when I had to cough
I don't.
You were just silent.
I don't have much.
No. It's fair enough. Yeah, Fallout 4, I didn't play it at all in the first few months of this year, which actually surprises me. But, yeah, I played a reasonable amount of it. Then, this is a fun one. Dark Souls 3. Which...
Your favorite?
It's 14% of my total playtime. I played it 24% in July and 76% in August. There was like a month and a half where I just played Dark Souls 3 a whole bunch. And I've got a bunch of achievements. I got 27 achievements, including the Nameless King. Defeat the Nameless King, who's like the hardest boss. Like, I really went hard on Dark Souls 3. I played it a whole bunch. I don't think Dark Souls 3 is very good. Like, I have opinions on it, and I wrote up an entire video about why I don't like Dark Souls 3, but I like Dark Souls. And I just didn't end up making it. I just scrapped it like real last minute as I was getting into editing. But I might end up reworking that into a video talking about Dark Souls to Dark Souls 3 to Elden Ring, because I think it's more interesting to talk about the three games together, and how I think Dark Souls 3 kind of lent too hard in the we want you to suffer, whereas Dark Souls is very challenging, but it doesn't feel like the game is trying to kick you in the genitals non-stop.
Yeah.
And then Elden Ring feels like almost a course correction.
Which is fun for some people.
Yes.
But not everyone.
No. I mean, it is the case of, like, a lot of people get, like, the hardest achievements in Dark Souls 3. Like, there's not much of a drop-off between, like, people who defeat the first couple of bosses and who defeat, like, the hardest boss in the game. I'm trying to find... Yeah, I think it's, like, a third of people don't even defeat, like, the second boss or whatever. But then over a third of people defeat the hardest optional boss where you never have to face them. Like, it's... Yeah, if people who get into Dark Souls 3 really get into it, is what I can see from this. But yeah, it says Bad Company Sarge has the patience of a saint, which I don't. And yeah, Dark Souls 3, I'll talk about it.
I mean, that may be like you keep saying you're bad at third-person games, and now you can't... I don't know if you can say that anymore.
No, well, the reason that I picked up Dark Souls initially was because I wanted to learn how to play third-person. My whole purpose behind it was, hey, I'm going to play a bunch of third-person games, including, like, the most difficult one, so that I can actually get fairly good at playing in third-person, and I think I've achieved that.
Yeah.
I can now play in third-person fairly comfortably, where before it was a real headache. It took me most of a year, but I've managed it. I can now play third-person competently.
Woo.
Yeah, I achieved something this year.
Whoa.
One entire thing. And then at the bottom of me... for me, is Fallout 76, where I pick it up on and off.
Yeah.
It's,
you know,
a lot of this is like Caedo being like, hey, do you want to play?
Oh, it's my fault.
Most of the time I just... most of the time I don't play this game.
Yeah.
It's not something that I think, oh, I'll jump into 76.
I mean, I kind of feel that... I just bumped my microphone. I just kind of feel the same way that, like... If I get Sarge to play along with me, I won't be as bored. Yeah. Maybe. But I will say that I think we were both kind of mildly interested in what the raid had to offer, so...
Yeah. Like, for a lot of the times I've jumped into 76, it's like, oh, there's an update, there's something new, like, there was a new area, or I obviously played for a fair bit then.
Yeah.
Like, there's plenty of stuff coming in.
The Shenandoah area, like, that was this year.
Yep, it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not too surprised by my list. When I scroll down further into the month by month, there's a lot more, like, Fallout. Like, I seem to play a lot of Fallout games just a tiny bit, which is clearly me capturing footage and stuff. Like, in May, I'm 1% on both New Vegas and Fallout 3 and Fallout 76. Where clearly it was like, oh, I just need to get this one thing real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a little disappointed that some of the games I played earlier in the year, like Kingdom of Amalur, didn't register later on.
Yeah, same.
I clearly didn't stick with those much.
I have a lot of those as well, but some of them are like early access games that, you know, I played the content up until the content ends currently, and what they have is really good, but it's not finished, so I move on to other things.
Yeah. In October, I played a couple of early access / kind of new indie games, but for the most part, it's just lots of the same stuff I've played before, because that's what I like.
I just thought of something else.
Oh no.
Yep. Sorry, I added to the what have we done thing.
Oh, okay. Hey Caedo, what have you done?
Oh, weird. Well, I typed in all caps because I was very proud of myself. Sarge, I made a video.
You did make a video.
I did.
I've already hit the like button on it.
Thank you very much. I had been on a kind of a 3-month burnout. I almost hit the 3-month mark after playing Shattered Space of like not doing anything useful. So I finally sucked it up and decided to go through the old timestamps. Some of the timestamps, or a lot of the timestamps, were already collected from the Fallout 3 playthrough that I did, the randomizer roulette thing, where level ups and decisions in quests were decided through dice rolls. For those who didn't, see it, it was a lot of fun. It was a really fun, fresh way to play Fallout 3. Because I have played the hell out of Fallout 3. So keep finding different ways to keep it interesting is very helpful. So I got up to, I think, like half the episode's worth of highlights, and I was pretty proud of just how it all kind of fit together and how many kind of, highlighty moments happened, especially like broken Bethesda engine ones. There was quite a few in that one. Amada got, like, at the very beginning of the game, Amada got trapped outside of the vault, which, like, right before you leave, like before you walk out the door and see the DC waste, like, Amada just spawned right in front of me and ran for the door and couldn't make it back in. It was really funny. And then somehow manifesting the Fire Lance at the Super Duper Mart.
Yes, I did actually see that clip. Technically, I haven't watched the video, but I put it on while I was doing other stuff, and that was one of the only clips I saw.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure I didn't just click the like button and then close it. I wanted to make sure you had 100% watch time on it.
I appreciate it.
These things matter.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sarge.
It's okay.
Also, being bullied by the first Reaver I ran into, that was the worst. Also just making decisions, like simple things like flip a coin to drink out of a sink or a toilet.
Yep.
To recover HP, and it was very fun. Just goofy nonsense, and I enjoyed the playthrough a lot. So, what I'm saying is maybe go watch it. if you want to see a shortened version of that playthrough, even though the whole thing was really fun. And if it gets enough attention, even if it doesn't, I suppose. No, it'll promote it better. If it gets enough attention, I may do the part 2 of the rest of the episodes, highlights of that. So go give Caedo's highlights, 48? I think we're up to 48 now. That's a lot. I shouldn't even number them anymore, to be honest. I think that makes it worse, actually. Makes it harder to click for people.
It makes it seem like it's almost a part and you might need to watch the previous ones. Although, as someone who's been doing like Let's Play style content with numbered episodes, it surprises me just how often like the views will spike on like episode 21. And I'm like, how has this got more views than all the past 5 eepisodes?
I mean, for some of them, for me,
on number 21?
It's like title thumbnail perfection almost. Like, because that's how it does on some of the episodes of the playthrough I just mentioned. Where I just had the right.
Keep the thumbnail the same.
The thumbnail was the same, so it was the right title for a lot of them that were getting higher views. I don't know, but anyway, along with that, obviously I've been playing the things I've been playing the last several episodes of the PIPCAST. But I did get my PSVR 2 set up, and I played a game called Underdogs. I did boot up Beat Saber and play that too, obviously, a little bit, because I missed playing Beat Saber. But there's a game called Underdogs where you are piloting a mech and you do arena combat, and the power of your basically attacks is based on how wide you swing with your arms. So you got to make sure you got a lot of room to move around. But it is, from what I've played already, it is a lot of fun. It's also got roguelike elements to it, where it's like the arena itself is one part of it, and then like you're spending, like, I don't want to call it dating simmy, but dating sims kind of did this, where like you have things that you do throughout the day until the event itself, and those things are randomized, and you can get like mech upgrades that are also randomized and stuff like that. You can like get into fights with scavengers if you stick around the junkyard for too long and stuff like that, and then lose all of your possible like upgrades that you could have gotten, stuff like that. You can get a sponsor. You can like choose a sponsor, and then the more they like you, the nicer they'll be with the penalties they give you during the fight, because like some enemies are like electrified, or like it's the arena's dark or something like that. It's different modifiers and stuff. Keeps it fresh. And generally it's just a lot of fun to play that kind of game. Nice. There was a weird thing that made it work pretty well when it came to like tracking and swinging the arms properly, and that's like when you're in the pilot seat, you can see your hands like grabbing onto basically the sticks that control the arms. So you're for whatever reason, somebody else described it this way: you can comprehend the movement a lot better because there is some delay with the movement with the robot's arms. You can comprehend the movement a lot better because you can see your character's arms as well. So it's easier to perceive, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's hard to describe. It's very stylistic, big mech battler kind of thing, and was in the unintentional workout or accidental workout pack that I purchased. And it's definitely that, because you're swinging wide all the time, smashing robots. So it was a good time. I don't know if I'll get footage of it because I have to because I keep moving my desk back and forth between the rooms. Like I have to recalibrate the headset every single time, but we'll see. It's a fun time. And I also got Half-Life Alyx. I haven't tried it yet. Really excited to try that. Yeah.
I've heard good things about it.
Yeah. And obviously Build 42 of Project Zomboid. They reworked so many things, and I've barely scratched the surface, so I don't have much to say besides the screen tearing is gone. That's really nice. The lighting system got reworked, so now when you go into a dark room, it's pitch black. it's a lot of fun. But fortunately, light switches also have little glowy orange lights on them, so like you're not you can still see where the light switch is. But you know, if you go into a pitch black room or a basement, because basements are now a thing, and it's pitch black and there's a zombie down there, you'll only be able to hear them, and it's scary.
Ooh.
Project Zomboid, woo.
Woo.
Anyway, Sarge, please tell me what you've done and mayhaps have tried out a thing that I may have gotten for you for Christmas.
So I've been playing Elden Ring.
What?
Because somebody gifted me the game.
Yeah.
Not gonna say who. It'd be ridiculous. But yeah, I've been playing some Elden Ring. I've put in over 20 hours now, which is pretty good, seeing as I've played it for like 10 days or whatever I want to say. When did I first play it?
Would you say you like it?
It's very good. Yeah. I've actually been playing it for the past, like, I've played it for a week at this point.
Nice.
So yeah, put in 20 hours. It's good. It fixes a lot of the problems I had with Dark Souls 3. The main one being, in Dark Souls 3, if you get onto, like, a difficult bit and you're not really gelling with the place, you just have to keep kind of going forward. There's not really side stuff to do in Dark Souls 3, it's quite a linear game. Like, even when you get choices, it's, do you want to go and fight Aldrich or Yhorm? It's like, oh, I have one of two options. I can go to either left or right, and that's it. Whereas Elden Ring is big and open world, and I'd estimate about half of my playtime is me just running around on torrent to areas I'm not supposed to be in.
Yeah.
And just, like, I've explored so much of a map. And just yesterday, I was deciding, I'm just going to go as far north as I possibly can. And I literally got to a point where arrows rain down from the sky to kill you, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is when I should stop. But before then, I was running past, like, camps of enemies. Obviously, no problem. I'm on a horse. I was running past buildings with giant legs on platforms, which do a shock wave which covers, like, the whole screen pretty much. Was able to get around them, because I'm really good at avoiding attacks and going fast. And I had a giant bear chase me, who was faster than me, but I still got around them and got away from them. I'm really proud of my ability to dodge attacks in that game on horseback.
Nice.
Like, I picked it up real quickly, also because it's quite similar to Skyrim horseback, which I learned many years ago. So a lot of the stuff I was like, oh, okay, I've already got some muscle memory locked in for this. There's just like a couple of new things I need to learn, and then I'm done. Which made it quite intuitive for me. But yeah, I've played a bunch of that. I've beat 2 proper bosses at this point. I beat like 4 or 5 actual bosses, technically. But I beat Magritte the Fell Omen and Godric the Grafted, which will mean something to people who have played Elden Ring.
Mm-hmm.
And Godric, first attempt. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Feel very proud of that, especially seeing as he's one of like 3 Elden Ring bosses I'm actually aware of. I felt quite good beating him. It's also very cool. He gets like his own little opening cinematic and stuff, and at one point halfway through the fight, rather than just transforming into a second phase, he tears off the head of a dragon in a cinematic, and I'm like, oh yeah. Cool. That's neat. That's pretty awesome. And Magritte the Fell Omen was 2 attempts to take down, which I feel particularly good about as well. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I am struggling to find good equipment. I'm using just like a fairly standard sword I picked up off a dead soldier, but I haven't found anything more interesting that fits my kind of character, which is a shame. But yeah, it's a very good game. It's also the first FromSoft game I can really play in like a cozy way, because I can just run away from enemies.
Yeah. I
can just kind of explore and look at all the pretty stuff. At some point, I definitely need to start working out how to take wallpaper pictures.
Yep.
because
pretty pictures.
It's got so many pretty areas. Like, it's quite a pretty game, especially as the graphics aren't like top tier. Like, things look good, but things don't look great on close inspection. But they've really nailed the art design, and especially stuff in the distance just looks cool. Like, there's so many awesome buildings where you're like, I want to go there. And there's obviously the entire Erd tree, I think it is. Just this giant glowing tree that covers everything. And it's very, very cool looking. Great fun. Good game. Sarge approval. And I've made a video for it. On the 1st of next year, there'll be an Elden Ring video coming out.
Nice.
Yeah, so you'll all get to see what I did and possibly be ashamed of me. God, I've just remembered all the jokes I put in.
I funded the Sarge video.
You did. You get a shout out at the start as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing I've been playing. Why don't you say what it is, Caedo? Betipus. Borderlands the pre-sequel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so on the
you
challenge
typed it that
run,
way on purpose.
It's just easier than typing out Borderlands the pre-sequel. I have to type it out so much. So I've been playing Borderlands the pre-sequel again. Hence I said I'll tell you later if I find out if a siren dies in that game. Because at some point I'll beat it. And yeah, I've done the punishment episode, because back on episode 5 I broke my challenge run of just using Hyperion items, when for 3 episodes I equipped a Maliwan item and did not notice, despite showing it off and talking about it at several points. So I decided to do 3 different punishments that were left in comments for me. And oh boy, do I suffer in that punishment episode. Like, I lose so much stuff. I think either in that episode or as a consequence of that episode, my character goes broke, which I don't think has happened to me before in a Borderlands game.
Oh.
Yeah. I was literally like, oh wait, I don't have money. I've just basically run out. I had, like, whatever I'd picked up, like a couple $100 or whatever, but everything costs, like, thousands, and I'm like, oh, that's not happened before. Interesting.
Oh no.
But yeah, it's been a lot of fun to jump back into. And after the punishment episode, I go back to non-punishment rules, but I'm still kind of suffering the consequences of the punishment episode, so yeah, the challenge run just got a whole lot harder, but it's been quite fun to record. I'm looking forward to doing a batch recording probably in January, and yeah, just a good time. It's been nice doing the challenge run stuff, and I'm hoping that next year, Bad Company Gaming will be monetized. Oh. Yeah, like the watch time, I'm gonna nail that, possibly even by the end of the year, like we're very close. The problem is getting subscribers, because you need like 1,000 subscribers, and I got like 570. But if new series bring in some more people, maybe it'll get monetized, and the challenge run one could do really well. It's a hope. Maybe it will happen.
I hope so too, Sarge.
Yeah, be nice, especially as the main channel is just not in a good place right now. So if I could get the side channel to start actually making some money, that'd be incredible. Yeah. But yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Cool. Well, I don't think I have anything else. Like I've been drawing blanks like the whole episode. I don't know if you noticed, but Sarge probably noticed, but I probably edited it cleverly to not have those big gaps of me not saying a single word. So those of you in the comments, what has your roundup been like, even on like Spotify and stuff like that? Because I mean, hey, this podcast is on Spotify. Are we on your listen list? I don't know, probably not. But we would like to be, I'm sure. But like, what has your like 2024 game history been like? Has it surprised you? Have you forgotten about something that you completed and you're like, oh yeah, that was fun, you know, kind of thing, like me with Legend of Mana or Secret of Mana. Yeah. Say it out in the comments. Was your holiday okay? We didn't even really talk about it. Besides being Santa and the Scrinch, like we didn't really say anything beyond that. So yeah, I hope your holiday's been okay, and I hope your New Year's is good. Don't get too schmammered if you're imbibing. And we hope to see you next year. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.